Joining us now is Vince Coglianese, editorial director for the Daily Caller. Vince, welcome back. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I want to get your overall thoughts on this year's CPAC. But first, what did you think of former President Trump's speech? Was it what you were expecting, Vince? Were there any surprises?
It actually was sort of what I expected, and it was interesting. I think your commentary up front here is right. He is a force and will remain a force in Republican politics. And it's interesting because, as you noted, he settled a big question, which is, will he continue to be a force within his own party, or will he break off and start his own party? The answer to that really clear now. He says, no, he's doing this with Republicans. And he's got a real opportunity here because coming up in 2022, the margins here are so close. We have an evenly split Senate. The only reason the Senate is in control of held by the Democrats at the moment is because Democrats hold the White House and thus the tie-breaking vote. And in the House, the narrowest margin in modern history between the Democrats and the Republicans. So Republicans do have a big opportunity in 2022 to take back both houses. I think President Trump, in making a strong case against the excesses of his opponents on the left in the Democrat Party, and specifically of Joe Biden, he can unify Republicans around opposition to what the Democrats are doing, and that could pay dividends in 2022.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, President Trump, he did tease that he may run in 2024. What's your take on that? What do you think is next for him? And also, again, the Republican Party?
I learned a while ago never to predict with confidence Donald Trump's next move, because chances are you're wrong. But throughout his political career, he's often flirted with running for office. Prior to ever running for president, he did that multiple times, and then each time didn't do it until he finally did in 2016. So we'll see. Right now, he seems to be flirting with it. I do think it's interesting that he didn't declare outright that he will be a candidate, which could leave some space for some other Republican contenders. One other thing from the straw poll at CPAC that I thought was super interesting, 68% of the people who were there said they would like Donald Trump to run again, but 95% of the people who were there said they would like Trump's policies to be what the next presidential candidate runs on. So whether or not it's Trump, it's definitely the things that brought him into office that animate the Republican Party.
Yeah, very interesting there. I want to go back to that straw poll. Florida Governor Ron Desantis, he finished second, a pretty strong showing there in that straw poll. Let's talk about him. What do you think of him, and why do you think he's so popular?
He appeals, well, there's two reasons, I think, for that event. That event was in Orlando, Florida, and you had Republicans who live in Florida who were attending. So that's going to give Ron DeSantis some hometown bump. But the truth is, there are really only a handful of governors nationwide who have stood up for their people and said, look, during this pandemic, I'm not going to force you to do things. I'm going to tell you what the science is, and I'm going to let you manage your life on your own because you are an adult in America. This is what liberty is all about. And the two governors who jumped to mind who did that were Ron DeSantis of Florida and Kristi Noem of South Dakota. Interestingly, Ron DeSantis came in second in that straw poll, and Kristi Noem came in third. I think that tells you a big story, which is that Republicans are very interested in leaders who cherish and protect their liberties.
Yeah, and real quick, we probably have maybe 30 seconds left. But overall, what was your overall take on the conference this year? How did it compare to other years?
This is a party out of power. So now the opportunity was, and this is how they used it, to call out all of the excesses of the left, all the ways the Biden administration is failing the country in their view. And it's an opportunity for a party that does have some fractures in it to close those off and to unify. And I think you started to see that at CPAC this weekend.
All right, Vince Coglianese, editorial director for the Daily Caller. Thank you so much for your analysis. Great to have you on.
Nice to be here.